we got you guys with the NHL second round playoff predictions. Now before we get started, I know this already started, but because of the Memorial Day long weekend, we didn't get you guys with videos on yesterday to honor those who served for our country. So shout out to you guys that honored and served for your country. Salute to you guys. Thank you for everything you do for us. Well, yeah, let's get to this, Mario. So I want to start off with the Bruins and Islanders since the series is already 2 games in. The series is tied 1-1. Um, Mario. Do I even need to say who I got winning the series? You guys already know who I got winning this series. I got the Bruins, of course. That's my damn team. I gotta go for my damn team here. But look, how many games do I got them winning? Easy. I got the Bruins 6. Now let me explain, okay? Let me explain, all right? I know a lot of you are probably gonna be like, oh, why you're bandwagon Bruins, the Bruins. So of course you're gonna say that. No, if I really wanted the Bruins to win, I would have said Bruins before, but I'm not gonna say that, okay? Because that's not even possible. The series is tied 1-1. Let me tell you why I got the Bruins at 6, okay? The Bruins are everything as of right now. When I look at the East, they're basically the only team that can compete against the Tampa Bay Lightning. If I'm being honest with you, like no disrespect to the New York Islanders, they're a really great hockey team, but I don't think they're on the level of the Tampa Bay Lightning. I think the only team when I look at it in the East, Mario, that's on the level of the Tampa Bay Lightning is the Boston Bruins. They have everything you ever want. You have a great goaltender who's probably a future Hall of Famer, Tuukka Rask. You got a great core. You got Charlie Coyle. You got David Pastrnak. You got Taylor Hall. You know what I mean? You got great veteran status of Brad Marchand and Patrice Bergeron. This team's just not slowing down, Mario. And I know they lost in overtime last night, but first game they won 5-2. They did an absolutely amazing job, and that's everything you've ever wanted out of a hockey team. They've done a really great job defensively, offensively. Goaltending's never really been an issue. They've done an amazing job, Mario. As for the Islanders, they did a really good job too, Mario. Sorokin's done a really great job for them. Anthony Bellaviller, he's done a great job for them. Same thing with Josh Bailey. They've all done a great job for this team, but I just don't think they're on the level of the Boston Bruins. I really don't. If the Bruins took out the Capitals in 5 games, I would have said sweep. But the Islanders, I gotta be honest, they've been playing a lot better hockey than the Washington Capitals in the playoffs. That is. So Mario, you know what? Give me Bruins 6. I'm gonna stand by that. I really do think the Bruins will win the series in 6 games.
I got Islanders in 7.
Wow, he gonna diss me like that.
No, that's not a diss. Look, the Bruins are really good.
I know.
They beat a good Capitals team. Here's my thing about it. Okay, the Islanders really did fight to get to the Bruins. They really did fight, and the Bruins fought too. But the thing is, like, they ended it in 5. The Islanders really had a tough series against the Pittsburgh Penguins. But here's the thing: when they had a little bit of momentum, they took advantage of it with the Penguins. Now, is that going to be harder with the Bruins? Yes, that's why I say 7. But here's what I think. Okay, as of now, first game Bruins won 5-2. Second game Islanders won 4-2. So I think it's a pretty even thing. I think it's pretty even. If the Islanders can just take one game from Boston and head home and win the next 2 in New York, I think they can do it. But I don't think that's going to happen. I think it's going to be a back and forth series the whole way through. I think in Game 7, I think when adversity hits them, I think the Islanders are going to be more prepared, and I think they're going to capitalize on it. And if they can but here's how they're going to do it. They have to get their stars involved. Okay, I noticed like Palmieri, he was a no-show. He was a no-show towards the end. Peugeot, again, I didn't see him a lot. Guys like Josh Bailey, they really were stepping up. And then last game, I'm going to be honest, Nate, you didn't really hear from Josh Bailey. Oh no, excuse me. He had a goal. I'm sorry. I'm looking at the wrong thing. He had a goal, and they won 4-3 in overtime. My bad. I thought it was 4-2. But regardless, when you get those guys, when you have like guys like Josh Bailey and Peugeot and all these guys that the Islanders have, as long as they get involved and they continue to stay involved, because they got to be more involved than they were with the Pittsburgh series. I think the Islanders can win this game. Can win this in 7 games. Same thing with the Bruins. If they can get their guys involved, their scorers, if they can get Pastrnak, if defensively McAvoy can do what he did against the Capitals, if Marchand can do defensively and offensively what he did against the Capitals, then the Bruins could definitely win this series. But at the end of the day, I think this is going to be a back and forth series. I think it's going to head to Game 7, and I think in Game 7, I think the Islanders are going to do enough to end up going to the next round. That's just my prediction. I got the Islanders in 7. I cannot see a team. I don't think a team's going to win it before 7, to be honest with you. But I will say this. I think besides the Lightning, I say the Islanders are the toughest task for the Bruins. But if the Bruins can get past the Islanders, then they got a really good chance to get past the Lightning. I think this is going to be a good test for the Bruins. But I got the Islanders winning in Game 7.
All righty then. Let's go to the next series in the East. It's the Hurricane versus Lightning. They also played the Lightning won, I believe it was 2-1. Yeah, it was 2-1. They lead that series 1-0. We already talked about the series a little bit in the Predators and Hurricanes video. I had the Lightning winning this one in 6 as well. I think you had them winning in 5. So
Yeah.
But we won't touch up too much on this one since we already talked about it a little bit. So I won't touch up too much on it. But from what I've seen in Game 1, Mario, and I did watch a little bit of this game. I mean, it's looking to be more of a defensive series from what I've seen. I mean, it's only Game 1, so it's time can tell. But if the Hurricanes can keep up their defense, I can definitely see the series going to 7 games. Because, like I said, I think the Hurricanes got a bit of fight in them. The first 2 games are going to be in Carolina, so that's an advantage they have over the Lightning. So if I'm the Hurricanes, I'm taking Game 2 before you go back to Tampa Bay. But other than that, Mario, I still got the Lightning winning the series in 6 games, and I really, really want to see the Bruins versus Lightning in the Eastern Conference Finals. I really do. That's a series I'd love to see. So, with that being said, I'll give me the Lightning in 6. I think the Hurricanes still got a little bit more fight left in them.
I'm going to be honest with you. I still got the Lightning winning at 5. But the Hurricane are looking a lot better. They really are. They're looking a lot. I think they're looking a little bit better than I forgot who the Lightning beat. They ended up defeating the Panthers. They ended up defeating the Panthers.
Yeah.
I think they look a lot. I think so far, just looking at Game 1, you know what the one thing I've noticed, Nate?
What?
Even though Kucherov got involved, he had an assist last game. Even though Braden Point got a goal last game, the 3-headed monster was not completely involved because Stamkos had only 1 shot on goal. Something that I don't think the Panthers did a good job with. They let that 3-headed monster get involved. But again, the reason why they lost is because the Lightning have a lot of great players. And I got to give the Hurricane credit. They did a good job. They only let go of 2 goals. Again, I got to give the Hurricanes goalie a lot of credit as well. Nedlikov, I got to give him a lot of credit as well. He had 28 out of 36. He saved 28 out of 30, which is a percentage of 93. But then again,
Alex Nedeljkovic.
Yeah,
is that what you're talking about?
Yeah,
okay.
Thank you. And then Vasilevsky, but obviously Vasilevsky is going to do great things. That's why I got the Lightning winning this series because not only are they more experienced, I think overall their players all around I think are just better. And it's nothing against the Hurricanes players, but overall I just think the Lightning's players are better. I just think there's too many players on that team to worry about, from Kucherov to Stamkos to Point to Hedman to Cirelli. When you look at all these players that they have, Sergachev, I just think it's too much. But I think the Hurricane are already doing a better job than what the Panthers did. So I could be wrong with my 5-game prediction, because it looks like the Hurricanes did a good job of stopping Stamkos. Now, if you can get rid of one more guy on that big 3 that they have, then the Hurricanes could take a few games. But at the end of the day, I just think it's asking for too much to stop that whole big 3 because they have not been stopped. They've all been getting involved somehow. So with that being said, I wish both teams the best of luck from the Lightning and the Hurricanes. I think it's going to be an entertaining series, but I still got the Lightning in 5. But if the Hurricane continue playing like this, they could change my mind.
Right, absolutely. Let's go to the next series. Now we got to focus on the next 2 in the West. Let's talk about the Avalanche and Golden Knights series, Mar. This one already started. Colorado leads at 1-0. They won 7-1. This team just gets scarier and scarier as they continue to play. Nate McKinnon has 8 goals in this playoffs. That kid's just built different, man. Man, I really had the Golden Knights winning this series in 7, but honestly, my opinion is going to change, Mario. I think I got the Avalanche at 5 because I watched that game. And obviously, the Golden Knights made a big mistake by not starting Marc-Andre Fleury. They ended up starting Robin Lehner in his place, and that proved to be a pretty big mistake. Nothing against Robin Lehner, but when you're in a situation facing the Colorado Avalanche and seeing how absolutely horrific they beat the St. Louis Blues, I don't think that's something you wanted to do. And they did it, and they paid the price for it. And get this, Mario, the Avalanche scored 4 goals in one period. Some teams can't even score that many goals in a game. This team just gets scarier and scarier as they play each and every game. And you know what, Mario? I had Vegas winning this series until I watched this game. I think my opinion changed. I'm gonna go Avalanche in 5, maybe 6. So yeah, we'll go with the Avalanche. I know you wanted to. I know you're rooting for the Knights, but I just can't see them winning the series. I really can't. Not after this.
Yeah, Nate, it's really tough. I really do want to just say Vegas. So because if it did happen, I could just be like, I was right. God, I'm like the mystic Mario. I could predict a lot of things, but I'm not gonna do that because it's not gonna happen. Okay, I'm not gonna try to be a smartass there. I'm going Avalanche. I'm gonna be honest with you. I think first of all, Vegas to me right now, it looks like they're showing me the same thing that they did with the Wild. It's just it looks like they're showing me the same thing. You might have, a lot of those games were very close in the beginning. You might have gotten away with it with the Wild, but you're not gonna get away with it with Nate McKinnon and the Avalanche. That's not gonna happen. Especially with that first line they have, especially with Nate McKinnon, Landeskog, and Rantanen, you're not gonna get away with it. Okay? You gotta play, they have to play better. It's as simple as that. The Vegas Knights have got to play like a Stanley Cup championship team. They have to, or else they're gonna get beat by the Avalanche. It's as simple as that. And I think that's what's gonna happen. I'm gonna be honest with you, Nate. I got the Avalanche in probably 4 or 5. I'm gonna go 5 just to be nice, but I got the Avalanche in 5. Now I really want to see how Marc-Andre Fleury does against this team. Okay, as for Marc-Andre Fleury, I'm not sure if he was like hurt or anything like that, Nate. I'm not sure if it was just a game time decision. I could understand why you would just get rid of your goalie like that. Oh, they actually game 1, they goalie switched. Yeah, so you were right. Robin Leonard started and he didn't do a great job. I really want to see what Marc-Andre Fleury does against this team. I really want to see if he's going to stop Nate McKinnon from being an absolute monster. I really want to see if he can stop that first line with McKinnon, Landeskog, and Rantanen. I want to see if he can stop those 3. That's going to be the test right there. But at the end of the day, I just don't think it matters. I think the Avalanche are just too good. And Marc-Andre Fleury, this play in the first round was just too up and down. I think it's probably going to be the same thing. But you cannot be up and down against the Avalanche. You have to be up all the time, or else they will capitalize. So with that being said, I got the Avalanche winning this in probably 5 games. I think Vegas might take 1. I think the Avalanche may have an off night. But regardless, I got the Avalanche winning this in 5 games.
Yeah, absolutely. So do I. Let's talk about this next series. This is going to be a very, very interesting series, Mario. It's the Winnipeg Jets versus the Montreal Canadiens. I did not think the Canadiens were going to win that series, but then again, it's the Toronto Maple Leafs. They're constantly choking series, so I wasn't surprised that they lost last night. This series starts tomorrow, at 7:30 p.m. It's going to be on NBC Sports Network, so make sure you go check that out. I look at this series, Mario. This is gonna be probably the most interesting one because these are 2 teams that we did not expect to even make it as far as they did. We didn't expect the Jets to beat the Oilers, but they swept them. We didn't expect the Canadiens to beat the Maple Leafs, and they did so in 7 games. We did. This is why I find it so interesting because the teams we very least expected. The Jets did a really good job against Edmonton Oilers. Very, very close game. Same thing with the Canadiens. A lot of those games went to overtime. Last night they beat the Maple Leafs 3-1. This is I can definitely see this going 7 games no matter who wins. But at the end of the day, Mario, this one's tough, man. This one's gonna be a little tough. You know what, Mario? Give me the Jets in 7. Only because, I'm a Bruins fan. I shouldn't be rooting for the damn Canadiens. But I wouldn't be surprised if the Canadiens come out on top too. They took out a league giant in the Toronto Maple Leafs. Same thing with the Winnipeg Jets. They also took out a league giant in the Edmonton Oilers. So now they're facing each other. It's going to be a really good series. Definitely going to be the more interesting one to watch. So I'm going to go with Jets in 7. I'll go with that. I think this is going to be a really good series. But no matter who wins, it's going to 7 games. That's what I can tell you right now.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. Canadiens, they did a good job of stopping Mitch Marner and Austin Matthews. Unfortunately, John Tavares, he was hurt and he just couldn't really recover, which that's unfortunate. So I'm still wishing John Tavares the best of luck and a speedy recovery. But the Jets, however, they stopped that giant and Connor McDavid, but that's only one guy, you know. And Canadians stopped two good players in Mitch Marner and Austin Matthews. So when I'm looking at this, Nate, I'll take Canadians in 6. I got Canadians in 6. I think the Canadians going to lock down the Jets, and I think they're going to beat them in 6. Okay, it's going to be tough. Don't get me wrong, because the Jets, again, they swept the Oilers. You know, they weren't supposed to, but they did. You know, we weren't expecting the Jets to make it to the second round, but they did. You know, we thought it was going to be the Oilers I thought it was going to be the Oilers in a sweep. The Oilers got swept. That wasn't supposed to happen. But I look at this, Nate, and I think the Canadians, I think if Carey Price can kind of show some consistency, you know, because there were some games where Carey Price just didn't have his best game. If he can show some consistency, I think the Canadians can definitely win it. As for the Winnipeg Jets, they got a great goalie, and I believe their goalie, correct me if I'm wrong, I could be wrong about this. The Winnipeg Jets goalie, I'm gonna look it up because I don't want to say it. It is Hellebuck. Okay. It's Hellebuck. And Hellebuck's a good goalie. So we're gonna see Price versus Hellebuck. Hellebuck showed how good he was in the first series, right? He needs to show that same thing in the second series. As for Carey Price, you have to show consistency. Because if Hellebuck plays the way he did in the first round, and Carey Price plays the way he did in the second round, then the Jets can easily win this series. Because Carey Price wasn't always consistent. But if Carey Price can be consistent, that's what I think it's going to rely on. I think it's going to be Hellebuck versus Carey Price. That's what I think it's really going to rely on. You could point to all sorts of other factors. You know, you look at the Jets roster. When you really look at them, Pierre-Luc Dubois, Mark Sheffield, Blake Wheeler, you know, you can point to all those guys, Kyle Connor. You know, you can point to them, and you can point to the Canadiens roster and how they have. I'm gonna look it up right now. The Canadiens have. Hang on a sec. You can point to the Canadiens roster and how they have Cole Caulfield, Carey Price, Kakaniemi. Sorry, it's so early in the morning. I really can't pronounce names right now. Josh Anderson, Nick Suzuki, Eric Stahl. You can point to those guys all you like, but at the end of the day, I think it's going to be. I think it's Price versus Hellebuck, and if Price can show a consistently good Carey Price, I think the Canadiens can win this in 6. If Hellebuck ends up playing like he did in the first series and Carey Price is having an up and down series, then I got the Jets doing it, and probably going to be honest with you, Nate, probably 5. So it all depends, but I think Carey Price is going to have a bounce back, you know. I think he's going to bounce back. I think he's going to show a lot of great consistency, and I got the Canadiens winning it in 6.
Absolutely. This is definitely going to be a very interesting series, one worth watching. So I do wish him the best of luck. As for all the teams in the playoffs, you know, best of luck to you guys. As for the teams that got eliminated from the playoffs, again, best of luck to you guys. And we'll see what happens, Mario.